This is Duolingo, our language learning app, and in this video, you are going to learn how to build this real-world full-stack production-ready application completely from scratch. We are talking about a microservice-based app with both front-end and back-end components working together. On the front-end side, you will build both the user interface and the admin interface, giving you hands-on experience with component-based architecture, state management, authentication flows, responsive design, and role-based access control. As a front-end developer, this app will allow you to master your skills and gain professional experience that can help you get a better job much faster, giving you the confidence to tackle real projects, build a solid portfolio, and stand out to employers with the kind of hands-on experience most junior developers are missing. On the backend side, you are going to build a solid full-stack architecture that handles user management, authentication, payment processing, content management, and data persistence. You will also design RESTful APIs endpoints, integrate third-party libraries like Stripe webhooks, implement security best practices such as authentication and authorization, data validation and sanitization, secure communication between client and server, API security, cross-site request forgery, CSP, and security headers. But here is the best part. Alongside writing code, I'm also going to walk you through essential software engineering principles, the real stuff that helps you take an idea and turn it into a complete, fully functional product step by step. This project is not just a simple tutorial, it's a major step forward that will help you build real confidence and skills. So, are you ready? Let's get started. Chill out, relax, 享受着美好的时光，让烦恼都飞走。Chill out, relax. Hello, I'm Sylvaincodes, a JavaScript developer. If you are looking to gain real-world experience that can help you land a full-time job, part-time job, freelance work, or even build your own software as a service product to generate passive income, you are in the right place. Make sure to follow this channel. Before we jump into our VS Code editor and start coding, let's take a moment to consider a very common situation. You may be a junior developer, mid-level developer, senior developer, or even a complete beginner who wants to build a product. The question is, how do you get started? Typically, you open Google and start searching how to build a marketing system that allows content creators to manage all their posts from one platform. Or even better, you go to ChatGPT and ask the same question. Afterwards, you begin your research to check if solutions already exist, and you try to identify what makes your idea different or unique. Once that is done, you begin planning, designing, and developing. However, despite all this effort, many apps still fail once they hit the market. Why? Some people don't know how to sell because nobody ever teaches us how to sell. Others don't have a clear roadmap to follow, which leads to failure, burnout, and feeling overwhelmed. In my experience, the second reason is far more common because if your app never reaches production, there won't be any marketing and you won't be able to generate any sales. Personally, I follow a clear and detailed roadmap that allows me to build any app from scratch step by step. This roadmap is available on roadmap.sh. It breaks down every phase of the software development lifecycle, and I build professional apps, whether for myself, for clients, or freelance projects. This is the exact roadmap I follow, and it has never failed me. The roadmap forces you to go through every phases of software development properly. Each phase includes multiple steps you cannot skip. And for every step, you will find a clear description of what needs to be done, guidance on how to do it, the exact resources you need to move forward. In this series, we'll walk through this entire roadmap together, briefly in this video, but you can access the full detailed version right now on my Patreon by checking the link in the description or scanning the QR code on your screen. Everything starts here. The moment you have an idea in your mind, it doesn't have to be perfect or validated yet. It's simply when you say, I want to build this app. In our case, our idea is very simple. I want to build a language learning app like Duolingo. That's it. That simple spark kicks off the entire process. Now we move from a simple idea into real preparation. We start by answering key questions. What problem are we solving? For us, our purpose is to help people learn languages in an interactive, gamified way through daily micro lessons that build motivation and consistency. Who is the app for? We have two roles: students who want to learn languages and admin who manage courses, lessons, and platform operation. Then, what's critical for our MVP? What can wait for later versions? Before we dive into listing features, one rule you must always remember: the MVP goal is to build the smallest version that delivers real value so users can start using it and you can gather feedback quickly. Don't try to build everything at once. For student role, here is what a student absolutely needs in version 1: authentication and profile, learning experience, progress and motivation, rewards and purchases, payments and subscriptions. For admin role, here is what the admin needs to efficiently manage the platform: lesson management, user management, quest management, shop management, and payment management. If you are wondering how I managed to identify the MVP features so effectively, it's simple. Don't waste time overthinking it. Just check out my Patreon page for all the insights. Now that we've defined our features, we move into writing user stories, one of the most important steps. User stories help you stay focused on what the user needs, not just what you want to build. Let's take the authentication and profile feature for the student role as an example. We have this. As a new user, I want to register easily using my email or social accounts so I can quickly create an account. As a user, I want to update my profile. You do the same for every feature you identified before. The planning phase is done. Now we move to the next phase, which is design. The design phase is about making all critical decisions before writing a single line of code. The better you design, the faster you build. The less you design, the more you will suffer later. We start with UX flows. User flow means the path the user follows. User flows define how users move through your app. This is purely logical, no design yet. For Duolingo, a new user might have this flow. The user arrives on the home page. The user clicks on the Get Started button. The welcome screen appears. The user proceeds to the sign up page. The user successfully creates an account. The app now asks the user to select a language. The first lesson begins immediately. This flow helps you define entry points, steps, decision points, and goal. You can use tools like Figma or Mermaid's chart to create user flows. Then we move to UI UX design. UI UX design means the visual and interaction layer applied to the flow. User flow guides your UI UX design, and UI UX design brings your user flow to life. Very simple. Use tools like Figma to create wireframes and UI. You also need to design your database models. You list every object you need to store. In our case, we'll have objects like user accounts, lesson, progress tracking, payment, quest, shop item, and so on. An object is an entity, and every entity has fields. You also define how entities connect, like one user has many user progress. One course has many chapters. One chapter has many lessons. One lesson has many exercises. One user has many orders. One user has many payments. For our app, we'll use MongoDB. I'll talk about that later. Use tools like dbdiagrams.io to visualize data structures. Then we move to API design. It allows you to select what kind of API endpoints you'll choose between REST and Graph, and define all backend endpoints you'll need. Example, post/register endpoint, get/languages endpoint. Use tools like Mermaids, Charts, or Draw.io for API design, and OpenAI Swagger to build API endpoint documentation. After that, system architecture. Define how the full system will be built. There will be a frontend, backend, database, authentication, cloud services, payment integration. Use Mermaid chart to create your system architecture diagram. Now we are in the best part, which is stack selection. Regarding of your system architecture, define technologies you are going to use. The technology you pick will shape your entire project. For Duolingo, we use for frontend React, Next.js, Tailwind CSS, Chatien UI. For backend, Node.js with Next.js API routes. For database, we use MongoDB. For authentication, we use Clock Off. For payment, we use Stripe. For deployment, we are going to use Netlify, which is more stable for webhooks compared to Vercel. Now it's time to organize everything. Without proper management, even great projects collapse. You break down every user story into clear, actionable tasks. For example, for the user story, as a new user, I want to register easily using my email or social accounts so I can quickly create an account. You break it into tasks like design registration page UI, build registration form, add social login buttons, integrate clock, validate inputs, test registration flow. Also define sprints and milestones. A sprint is a fixed period of time, usually 1 to 4 weeks, during which you focus on completing a specific set of tasks or user stories. In a case, every feature represents a sprint. A milestone is a significant checkpoint or goal in your project timeline. For example, we have two milestones. Milestone 1 for student MVP, milestone 2 for admin MVP. Now we finally start coding. You start your sprint. You work task by task. You review, test, and mock task as done. You complete sprints one by one until all milestones are delivered. Once development is done, we stop building and start validating. Test end-to-end flows, catch bugs, edge cases, security holes, performance issues, and so on. Once fully tested, go live, activate payments, set up backups and monitoring, launch to real users. The post-deployment phase allows you to monitor server logs, uptime, and performance, hotfix critical bugs fast, gather real user feedback, analyze analytics and business metrics, start marketing, search engine optimization, scaling, partnerships. Then comes the maintenance and update phase. This is where long-term success lies. You often do continuous monitoring, dependency updates, security patching, bug fixes, feature improvements, performance optimization, code refactoring, planning new features via new sprints. This is what separates hobby projects from real sustainable software as a service businesses. You are not just writing code, you are building a living product. If you understand this entire cycle, you are ready to build software as a service professionally, work for real companies, or launch your own product business. Let's go build.